Good day, my name is Blue Suit and today I'll be going over my review of the desert-themed survival crafting adventure game known as Starsand. In Starsand, you play as a marathon runner who gets lost in a powerful desert sandstorm and collapses in a nearby house, awakening to find a mysterious new world, surreal in both its differences and similarities of the world they knew. As you embark on your journey into the vast desert expanse, you quickly realize that survival won't come by accident, and even the elements alone pose great dangers to your well-being. Starsand's tutorial will guide you from the house to your first humble yet precious oasis, as well as teach you various rudimentary skills for survival like crafting tools and building shelters. Starsand does come with a very healthy learning curve, and one of my first lessons with the game was in just how dangerous it is. For starters, it's a huge static map, and at this point in the game's development there is a lot of open desert space between landmarks. Leaving the comfort and safety of your well-provisioned oasis on foot generates no small amount of anxiety, because you can walk for 5 or even 10 minutes straight and see nothing but sand. When your hunger and thirst are critical, it's so nerve-wracking to be headed up the nearest dune, hoping to use the elevation to spot another oasis to cling to, only to be met with sand as far as the eye can see in every direction. To compound this feeling, there's no compass in Starsand, and the map is a blank sheet of parchment that you have to fill in by yourself using craftable waypoints. And even once my map was mostly filled out, it took me a long time to realize that the top of the map doesn't seem to be north, making it really easy to get turned around and lost, a recipe for disaster. To make travel even more risky, you can't even save your game whenever you want, but instead only at craftable beds or tents, the resources of which are generally pretty cheap. The tipping point for me was when I discovered that you can tame and ride the camels that wander the dunes of Starsand. With 5 times your speed and 10 times your stamina, taming one of these vehicles should be every player's top priority. They can be outfitted with saddlebags to allow you to really extend your reach to the very edges of the desert, and they make hunting and combat significantly easier, especially once you craft a bow and you can just casually shoot vicious aliens and hyenas while your camel keeps you a safe distance away. Once you have that kind of mobility, you're now able to discover secrets, crafting recipes, and all the food and materials that you didn't even know existed. While on foot, exploration really isn't rewarded well at all, and it's generally a coin toss on whether or not you'll even make it back alive. But with transportation, I was able to find some really great locations in the game that really made me appreciate how small I was in this desert, and how I could feel myself slowly overcoming its unrelenting nature. This was definitely the most addicting aspect of Starsand as well, slowly growing to be able to handle the extreme temperatures of day and night, and gearing myself to stand toe-to-toe with giant alien centipedes. Right now, as an early access title, content is pretty limited, however. There are only about 50 different crafting recipes in the game, a small handful of enemies to fight, and only a couple sets of weapons and armor. Also, it definitely has a Dune, Stargate, Tremors feel to the game, yet in its current state is devoid of any real technology-based gameplay elements, so you're limited to only very basic tools. Even some of the things that are shown in the Steam trailers don't exist yet, and the base building mechanic really isn't fleshed out at all right now, and takes so many resources that it's really only an endgame endeavor, if at all. The real problem is that the things you can build really don't provide enough of a gameplay impact to feel meaningful, but still at the very least allow you to create a base of operations wherever you please. The final negative issue that I want to talk about with Starsand at this point in early access is that it's strictly a solo experience for now. The developers have stated that they will add cooperative play towards the end of early access, but for the next 6 to 12 months it's likely to be a hard pass for many players who prefer survival crafting games with a friend or two. You can pick up Starsand when it launches tomorrow into Steam Early Access. As of this review, a price hasn't been announced, but the developers have said that it'll be a bit cheaper during Early Access. Starsand does have a few downsides as a vast, occasionally empty-feeling solo survival crafting title, but regardless, I found myself hooked to its exploration and overall gameplay loop. When Toplitz first sent me over a game key, I could only play it for up to 3 hours before I'd have to start a new game. And I was so into it that I ended up playing those first 3 hours over and over again to see how far I could make it before running out of time. By the time the game was unlocked, I was mostly geared up and finally got to take my time exploring the sands of the arcane desert to my heart's content, finding peaceful oases, scorpion-ridden ruins, and mysterious pyramids, as well as other strange places and relics that I'd rather not spoil. And while I won't rate Starsand based on this, it really feels like it could be an amazing experience when it's finished, as a wonderful balance between Dune, Kenshi, and Subnautica. However, in its current state, its content does start getting stagnant after around a dozen or so hours, so I'm valuing Starsand at $12. And even if you don't pick it up, I'd suggest at least wishlisting this one to keep an eye on its development. I hope you enjoyed this review of Starsand. Come see me on Twitch where you can watch our reviews in progress 5 nights a week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Until next time, peace!